everyone. We are continuing chapter accounting for liquidation of companies. Here are some problems and also some theory parts. Kindly go through it. Number 2. In this question, I have made one change, that is call scenarios. Equity shares estimated produce 1200. I have added this amount because in your answer it is given as 1200 instead of 2000. So I have added this amount to your question. You may also please add this amount to your question. And doing the answer statement of affairs, you need to prepare cash in hand, bills receivables, sundry debtors, calls in arrears, stock in trade, land and building, and investment. All these items are given in your and question, and you need to take only the realizable amount, and you will get the sum total of 5,35,600. I'm not explaining it in detail because I have already done a similar problem before. Okay, so you may please refer that video too. Assets specifically pledged as per list B. We are taking plant and machinery for this because in the question you can see that plant and machinery secured to creditors estimated to realize 1,60,000 rupees. The company has secured plant and machinery for paying their creditors. The amount should be paid to creditors is 1,20,000 rupees, and the realizable amount of plant and machinery is 1,60,000 rupees. So coming to here, estimated realizable value 1,60,000 rupees. The amount which should be paid to creditors is 1,20,000 rupees. So you will get the surplus of 40,000. Estimated surplus from assets specifically pledged is 40,000, which we have found now. And estimated total assets available for preferential creditors, debenture holders secured by floating charge, and unsecured creditors is 5,75,600, which we will get from adding 5,35,600 plus 40,000 rupees. So you will get 5,75,600. And coming to the summary of gross assets, gross realizable value of assets specifically pledged. The asset specifically pledged is plant and machinery, and its realizable value is 1,60,000. And other assets value is 5,35,600, which is the total of list A, 5,35,600. Then you will get the amount of 6,95,600. Coming to the liabilities, secured creditors as per list B to the extent to which claims are estimated to be covered by specifically pledged 1,20,000, which we have got earlier, that is this amount, which means that the amount paid to be should be paid to creditors is 1,20,000, and for this assets has been pledged. Preferential creditors as per list C. Preferential creditors are the amount which the company should paid off before its winding up or liquidation, and the amounts are entry for acquired salary 8,000 plus 4,000, which is the rent, and you will get 12,000 rupees, and here rent and taxes 8,000, wages and salaries 6,000. Sum total you will get 26,000, and you want to write this amount here and here also. Estimated balance available for debenture holders and unsecured creditors is 5,49,600. You will get this amount by deducting to 26,000 rupees from 5,75,600, and you will get this amount. And debenture holders secured by first floating charge as per list D. In the question you can see the debentures is 4 lakh rupees. So you need to write 4 lakh here and here also, and you need to deduct 4 lakh from 5,49,600, and you will get 1,49,600 rupees. And bank overdraft secured by second floating charge as per list D. Going to the question you can see that bank overdraft of 2 lakh rupees. So we are deducting 2 lakh here also. You want to write 2 lakh here and here also. Deficiency as regards creditors secured floating charge is 50,400. You need to deduct 1,49,600 from 2 lakh, so you will get 50,400 rupees. Unsecured creditors as per list E, bills payable, trade creditors, bills discounted, likely to be dishonored, contingent liability 12,000. These amount can be found here in your question. then you will get the total of 1,96,096,000, and you need to write here also, and you need to total these column, and you will get 9,42,000 rupees. Estimated efficiency as regards creditors being the difference between gross assets and gross liabilities issued and called up capital. Here the deficiency, here this sentence is another one, I have read it also, sorry. The difference between gross assets and gross liabilities will be 2,46,400, because here we are adding 1,96,000 plus 50,400, so you will get 2,46,400. In the previous case we doesn't add because it is separately given as assets and liabilities. Here we are deducting each items, um, the each items as the items came. So here we want to add 1,96,000 plus 50,400 rupees. So you will get 2,46,400. And coming to the equity shares, 20,000 into 20,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each will be 4 lakh rupees. You can go to the question, you may see that 40,000 shares were there. So here 40,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, 4 lakh rupees. I think I have said 20,000. It's wrong. 40,000 equity shares were there. So 40,000 shares into 10, you will get 4 lakh. This 20,000 is wrong. And rupees 8 per share called up less in arrears recoverable as per list G is 3 lakh 19,200. You may go to the question, you can see that 8 per share is the called up capital. You need to deduct the call scenario, so we'll get the amount of 3 lakh 19,200 rupees, and sum total you will get 7 lakh 19,200, and you need to add this amount with the estimated efficiency of 2,46,400. So the contributories as per list H will get 9,65,600. And a trial balance, we need to do trial balance for completing deficiency account. I'm not explaining trial balance because I think it's very clear for you as an MCOM student. So please go through this trial balance. The profit and loss balance amount is 7,21,600. We need to take this amount only. Going to the deficiency account, items contributing to deficiency, excess of liabilities over assets is 7,21,600. Estimated losses now written off, which provision has been made for the purpose of preparing statement. Investments 40,000. You may go to the question. Investments, you can see 40,000 because 1,20,000 was the realizable value, 1,60,000 was the book value. So there was a deficiency. Here we are taking the items which has deficiency as first. Okay. So 1,60,000 minus 1,20,000, like that you will get 40,000. And taking plant and machinery, bills receivables, sundry debtors, bills discounted, contingent liability, stock in trade, rent and salary outstanding. I'm not going to explain each and everything. You need to understand one thing, that here deficiencies has been, the items which has deficiency is calculated firstly, which has uh, increased the value of deficiency. Plant and machinery also, bills receivables, etc. For example, plant and machinery 1,60,000 was its realizable value, but its actual value was 2,40,000. So there was a deficiency of 80,000 rupees, which we are carrying here, 80,000. Like that you want to calculate each item's value of deficiency, and sum total you will get 3,24,000 rupees. And 3,24,000 plus 7,21,600, you will get 10,45,600. And land and building was the only item which reduced the deficiency, which means its value has been increased by rupees 80,000 rupees. You need to deduct the amount. And finally, deficiency shown as per statement of affairs will be 9,65,600. So thank you, my dear students. If you have any doubt, please contact me. Thank you. Liquidator statement of account. It is the duty of the liquidator to realize the assets and disperse the same among those who have a proper claim. He has to prepare a statement showing how much he has realized and how the same would be dispersed. For this purpose, he has to prepare a statement of account which is known as liquidator's final statement of account. And moving to the features of liquidator's final statement of account. First one is it is prepared by the liquidator and it is prepared in the form of cash account. Receipts are recorded in the left hand side of the account and the payments are recorded in the right hand side of the account. And in case of compulsory winding up, liquidator should submit the final statement to court, and in case of voluntary winding up, liquidator need not to submit into court, but instead of court, he want to submit into the company. And this is the performer of liquidator's final statement of account. You can see the receipts in the left hand side and payments in the right hand side. So please go through each and every items recorded in receipts and payments, and it is given in your textbook too. And liquidator's remuneration. In case of compulsory winding up, the remuneration is fixed by the court and the amount is payable to the court since the official liquidator is a salaried employee of the government. And in case of voluntary winding up, the remuneration is fixed by the meeting which appoints the liquidator. And the remuneration once fixed cannot be changed or increased. Usually, the remuneration consists of a commission on assets realized plus a commission on the amount paid to unsecured creditors. Unsecured creditors include preferential creditors, unless otherwise stated. The commission on unsecured creditors is on the amount paid and hence care should be exercised in calculating the commission. Moving to the calculation of liquidator's remuneration, there are three methods. First one is percentage on assets realized. If liquidator is entitled to remuneration as a certain percentage of the assets realized, such realization does not include cash in hand unless otherwise stated. And its formula is liquidator's remuneration equal to assets realized into remuneration percentage divided by 100. And in case of assets specifically pledged, it is believed that such assets are realized by the concerned creditors themselves. The liquidator is allowed commission only on the amount of surplus realized from such creditor. If the liquidator himself realizes the assets, he may be allowed a remuneration on the full value realized on account of sale of such assets. And second one is percentage on amount distributed to unsecured creditors. Sometimes the liquidator also receives commission on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. Then the unsecured creditors also include preferential creditors unless otherwise specified. And if the amount is available is sufficient to make full payment of unsecured creditors, the commission is calculated as follows: amount due to unsecured creditors into percentage of commission divided by 100, and if it is not sufficient to make full payment of unsecured creditors, then the commission will be available amount into percentage of commission divided by 100 plus percentage of commission. So like this we can find the remuneration of liquidator. I think it's very clear for you. Next we can do the problem of liquidator's remuneration and final statement. So thank you. And this is our question. This is very simple question. Everyone can do it very easily. So please go through it thoroughly. And here the company is going through a voluntary liquidation and we are requested to prepare liquidator's final statement of account, and the remuneration paid to the liquidator is the 2% of assets realized amount and 2% of amount distributed to unsecured creditors other than preferential creditors. You can see below that the amount realized for assets and the unsecured creditors, preferential creditors, etc. amounts were also given in the question. And after that you can see that liquidation expenses is rupees 2000 rupees and a call of rupees 2 per share on partially paid 10,000 equity shares was made full and duly except in case of one shareholder owing 500 shares. So here we need to consider only 9,500 shares because 500 shares are owing by a single person and he has been paid fully, and for other 9,500 shares they doesn't pay 2 rupees per share. So let's start doing a solution. And this is the liquidator's final statement of account. There is some problem in viewing that, right? It's not that much clear, so please adjust with it. And here we know that there is receipt column and payment column. This is the receipt column. Here we are going to write the assets realized amount, calls amount, etc. You may please go through that format, then you will be clearly aware about that. And here we are going to write payments. So let's start doing it. Assets realized, cash in hand. You can go through the question that cash in hand, land and building, plant and machinery, fixtures and fittings. These are the assets which are undergone for realization. So we are writing it in the answer. So you will get the total of 2,68,000 rupees. And calls, which I have already said that 9,500 into 2, 19,000. And we doesn't have any other items here. If in some question you can see other items, so please thoroughly study the format so you can add as much as items if there is any need. Okay. And 2,68,000 plus 19,000, 2,87,000 is the total of both columns. But now we only know that what is the total of receipt column. And going through the payment side, liquidation expenses amounts to 2,000, which is given in the question, and liquidator's remuneration 2% on assets realized, which is 2,68,000, and you will get 5,360 rupees, and 2% on unsecured creditors distributed amount. We doesn't know what is the amount distributed to unsecured creditors because here we are seeing that 2,68,000 rupees is the total of assets realized. To this asset realized amount, we want to pay this much amount. So it is greater than this amount. So we need to understand that the amount is not sufficient even to make the payment of unsecured creditors. So since the amount is not sufficient to make the full payment of the unsecured creditors, the commission payable to the liquidator on the payment made to the unsecured creditors is to be calculated as below, which you can see here. Total receipt side is 2,87,000, which is this amount, and we need to deduct all the amount else this amount. This amount we doesn't find. Okay, so we are going to find this amount. For that we need to deduct all other amounts from 2,87,000. The amounts which should be reduced are liquidation expenses 2,000, liquidators remuneration on assets realized 5,360, payment to debenture holder 75,000, payment to preferential creditor 70,000, and by adding all this you will get 1,52,360 rupees. And the amount available for unsecured creditors and liquidators remuneration after deducting these items is 1,34,640 rupees. So now we need to find the liquidators remuneration on payment on unsecured creditors. For that we have a formula, that is amount available into percentage of commission divided by 100 plus percentage of commission, that is 1,34,640 into 2 divided by 102, then you will get 2,640 rupees. Here we are writing 2,640 rupees. And now we got the liquidators remuneration in case of unsecured creditors also. Then debenture holders of 75,000 rupees, preferential creditors of 70,000 rupees, and unsecured creditors. Here we are going to find unsecured creditors amount. You may see that 1,34,640 rupees is the amount which is available for unsecured creditors and liquidators remuneration, and among this amount liquidators remuneration belongs to 2640 rupees. So you need to deduct 2640 from 1,34,640, then you will get 1,32,000 rupees, and 1,32,000 rupees is the 58.93 percentage of unsecured creditors, and they are not able to pay the remaining portion of unsecured creditors. I think it's clear. So please go through this question thoroughly. I'm repeating that this is a very simple question. So please go through this question. Thank you. Receiver for debenture holders. Debenture holders has right to appoint a receiver on failure of the company to pay them their interest or the installment on the due date or on liquidation of the company. In case of liquidation, debenture holders may appoint an independent person as receiver to take over the assets specifically or generally charged in their favor. The receiver will realize such assets, and after meeting the expenses, remuneration, and making payment to claimants entitled to get payment in priority to the debenture holders. He will make payment to the debenture holders. The receiver will hand over the surplus, if any, to the liquidator of the company so that the latter may make the payment to the claimants who are to get the payment after the debenture holders. So, if a receiver is appointed by the debenture holders to protect their interest, two statements should be prepared. First one is receiver's statement of account and liquidator's final statement of account. So let's start doing a problem relating to receiver for debenture holders. And this is our question. This question is almost similar as illustration 11 in your textbook. So please go through this question, and you can see at the adjustment portion that mortgage loan was secured against land and building. Debentures were secured by floating charge on all the other assets. So all the other assets are charged against debentures, and the company was unable to meet the payment, and therefore debenture holders is appointing a receiver, and they are going for a voluntary winding up, and for the receiver for the debenture holders brought the land and building to auction and realized 1,50,000, and you can see that the liquidator um, took charge of sundry assets of the value 2,40,000 and realized for 2 lakh rupees, and the balance of 1 lakh rupees also were realized by liquidator. But we are not concerned about liquidator's realization in case of receiver's statement of account. In case of receiver's statement of account, we are only considering the assets which are realized by the receiver. So like this we can do the problem. So let's move to the answer. Receiver's statement of account, this should be prepared first, and here you can see that sundry assets realized. You know that in the question it is mentioned that receiver has realized sundry assets for rupees 2 lakh rupees, and also he has realized land and building for 1,50,000 rupees, and you know that there is 80,000 mortgage loan in the question, so you do want to deduct 80,000 from 1,50,000, so the amount will be 70,000, and 2,70,000 is the total amount which is realized by the receiver. And coming to the payment section of receiver statement of account, receiver's cost is 2,000, which is given in your question, and payment of preferential creditors income tax raised within 12 months. You can go to the question and you can see that assessment year 2014, 15 and 15, 16 total amount is 26,000 in case of income tax. So we are writing this 26,000 here, and payment of debenture holders. The question you can see that 13% debentures of 1,50,000. So the payment include 1,50,000 plus 13% of that debentures interest. So 9,750 will be the 13% for the half an year in case of debentures. So Sum total you will get 1,59,750. And the balance amount is the excess amount which the receiver got from realization of asset, and it should be hand over to the liquidator, and the amount hand over to the liquidator is 82,250 rupees. And moving to liquidator's final statement of account, you know that surplus received from receiver should be written in the receipt column 82,250, and the liquidator has realized sundry assets for 1 lakh rupees. You can add this amount, and calls are there, and the amount will be 10,850. We will go to the working note for further explanation. Then cost of liquidation is 2,800. Liquidator's remuneration is 3% on the amount realized on assets. You can see it in the question. Here it is written 3%. So we are given 3% of 1 lakh for as remuneration. So 3,000 rupees. And payment of unsecured creditors for trade 32,000. And payment of amount due to directors of bank overdraft 30,000. You can see in the question that creditors for goods and bank overdraft, so we are paying that amount too. Then coming to next item, payment of preference shareholders is 1 lakh rupees. In the question you may see that preference shares of 1 lakh rupees, and in the adjustment it has been given that there were arrears for 2 years at the percentage of 11. So we are finding it, and 22,000 rupees is the arrear of dividend, and we are adding this amount with 1 lakh rupees, and you will get 1,22,000 rupees. And now we are going to find what is the amount which is owned by equity shareholders after giving all its liabilities. So let's do it through the working note. So please move to that. Okay. Working note. Calculation of amount payable by partially paid shareholders. Amount available before call from partially paid shareholders is 1,82,250. We will get this amount from this final statement, that is surplus received from the receiver was 82,250, and the 1 lakh was the amount of asset realized. We are not including this amount because it is related to call. So sum total you will get 1,82,250, and as our previous problem of liquidator's final statement, we are deducting all other claims such as cost of liquidator's remuneration, unsecured creditors, preference shareholders, and you will get 1,89,800 rupees. And here there is a deficiency of 7,550 rupees, and we should add the amount receivable from partially paid shareholders on the basis of notional call of 2.5 per share on 5,000 shares, that is 12,500, and you will get a surplus of 4,950 rupees. I think it's clear. We are calculating 5,000 into 2.5, then you will get 12,500. That is given in the question that there was an arrear. Net surplus after notional call 4,950 was the amount which is which was arrived from deducting 7,550 from 12,500. So we will get 4,950 rupees, and number of shares deemed fully paid was 15,000 shares. And to find the refund amount on each fully paid up shares, we are calculating such as 4,950 divided by 15,000, that is 33 paise was the amount which should be refunded to every fully paid up shareholders. So call on partially paid up share equal to 2.5 minus 0.33. And coming to the liquidator's final statement, here we can see that there were 10,000 shares fully paid up, and for this shareholders of 10,000 shares, they are getting back 33 paise per share after all the payments, after undertaking all the payments. So they are getting 3,300 rupees. Like this you can balance the liquidator's final statement of account. And in the question it is clearly defined that 5,000 equity shares are only 7.5 per share paid up, remaining 2.50 were not paid up. Here in the working note you can see that we have calculated it 2.50 into 5,000. I think it's very clear, and by this I have completed all my remaining portions, and now it's up to your hand. If you have any doubt, please contact me, and thank you very much for your cooperation. Thank you.